Hello and welcome back to Snapshot, your place for all news, history, and just chat about quad ball. We have a lot to get through today. Missed last week because there was no tournaments to my knowledge last week, but there is a ton going on this weekend and a lot of stuff that's been announced in the near future. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Like the video. There's a lot of quad ball coming up this weekend, a lot of big tournaments. First thing I wanted to cover, the Philadelphia Flamingos have rebranded to the Pennsylvania Wolves. This got posted on the Reddit. I'm serious when I say this might be one of the coolest jerseys I've ever seen. I think they cooked so hard with this. Both color schemes are super cool. The clouds in the shape of like, it's meant to be a paw print, I think, on the back. So great job to the people over at Pennsylvania. I think these are incredible jerseys. I think there's a link to the Reddit or there's a link on the Reddit to these if you want to get one. I think they're super cool. So just want to give a shout out to Pennsylvania. Frontrunners for the first Greenhouse Award. So this has gone under the radar, but USQ started something new this year. Well, maybe reintroduce something new. This has been done before in the past, but they're starting this thing called the Greenhouse Award, which is essentially the Heisman if you follow college football, or essentially just the MVP of college quad ball. So really the best college quad ball player or the one with the most impact, essentially whoever is the MVP of college quad ball will earn the Greenhouse Award, named after Harry Greenhouse, very legendary player in the community. So who should be nominated? I know some people are saying Carson from Brown, Sam Magner's beginning talks, Titus Jan on Crucio has been great, David Avila on Texas State is never a bad shout, a couple other Southwest players have been pretty good. I know a lot of Creighton players, Virginia players will get a lot of recognition too. There's certainly a lot of names you can pick, and I don't want it to come down to just best player, best team, but that's certainly an option. There's certainly some rookies that could throw their name into the hat as well. But the Greenhouse Award, definitely going to be an interesting one to see. I think it's fun to have more just awards in general in college ball. I think MLQ does a good job of this. I think more awards in general, even if there's not like a trophy, at least recognition is a very cool thing, in my opinion. So this was one thing that was interesting. So Twin Cities, Frost, they've been taking a break this year. And so Chicago United, now I'm uncertain as which one's the A and which one's the B, but Chicago United and Brew Cities, I think Chicago's the A. They've made themselves an A-B team status for this year. Normally Brew Cities, I believe, is the B team for DCQC. But now Brew Cities is going to be the B team of Chicago United. I believe that's how it works. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because Brew Cities has already opted into open division instead of competitive. So Chicago United is definitely going to be gunning for that. But you've got the best players on Chicago United, the best players of Brew Cities, and some of the TCQC players will all be playing for Chicago United, I believe, this weekend at York County, with a chance to maybe make a push for a competitive bid. We'll see if it pays off. I've got my predictions here coming later in the video, but I think this is cool. Players will have free transfers between the two teams, which is great. Don't have to have any kind of suspensions or anything for that. I think it's just cool to see that Chicago United and Brew Cities getting involved, getting a partnership going, and picking up some of the TCQC players that still want to play but just don't have a place to right now. I think that's great. Sam Houston normally hosts a tournament in the fall, but they did not this year. They're hosting the Death Row Classic this weekend in Huntsville, Texas. All four Southwest teams will be there: UTSA, Texas State, Sam Houston, and Texas. The Texas Copperheads will be playing a scrim against Sam Houston as well. And then I'm pretty sure there will be a championship game after this. I think I saw that on the schedule as well. So Southwest Quad Ball is back this weekend. I'm not expecting anything to change from the Southwest qualifiers. I think Texas State will win this undefeated. Sam Houston will get second. This could be interesting, UT or UTSA, because I know UTSA has sustained some injuries, and UT was playing pretty good against them at Southwest. I'm still going to lean on UTSA to beat Texas. It's close. It's close. It's been so hard with these two. just because Texas State and Sam Houston have been the better team, so it's been hard to find success for either of them. But I'm going to give it to UTSA for now. I think Texas has to show me that they can definitively be better. But I think they can. I think they absolutely have the potential to. They played very close against UTSA at the Southwest qualifiers. So I think it's absolutely possible for the Longhorns to get that win. H2O, this is Bay Area's tournament. So this will be in California. The Second Stars, Silicon Valley Vipers, Bay Area Breakers, and the Bay Area Bakers. So I'm guessing a team, B team situation, or Bay Area is just splitting just for the purposes of this tournament. But some more West Coast quad ball, which is good. We haven't had too much of that this year, so it's nice to see an extra tournament. No Lost Boys, which is interesting. They will not be traveling to this tournament. But 4 teams, well, maybe 3. I'm not sure what the situation is with Bakers, but 4 teams that will be playing a full round robin. I expect Breakers to be undefeated in whatever the format is on this. And then between Second Stars and Silicon Valley, I'm not too sure. I don't think Silicon Valley has actually played a game this year, so I'm going to give it to the Second Stars for now. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go the other way, though. But Bay Area should be getting some good experience in, well, all these teams will get a tune-up before the Everett Qualifier coming up in March. So that will be good experience for them. H2O, a good tournament. That is this Saturday on the same day as Death Row Classic and on the same day as the big one, the York County Qualifier. I'll try and reload this one more time. I could not get these images to load at all, unfortunately, before recording. I don't know what's going on with Quad Ball 1, but you can read the team names. The schedule is here. 7 club teams will be traveling to South Carolina. It's a full round robin. There's been some drops. There's been a merger as well between 2 teams. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But 7 teams, it's going to be a full round robin, which means every team plays 6 games, which is a big tournament. And then the top 2 teams will play a championship match. They've also changed the number of bids. It was going to be 4 bids back when there was 10 teams attending. It is now 3. So there are 3 club bids available and 1 championship bid, which is important because I believe you get the top seed of groups, and possibly that puts you in a better position to get a first round bye at champs. So you definitely want to be in this championship match. You want to win that championship match. But you want to definitely be in the top 3 at the very least to be able to earn a club competitive bid. 7 teams in attendance. You've got DCQC, Chicago United, New York Slice, the Dragon Wolves. This is Atlantic Dragons and the Pennsylvania Wolves, that new team that we just talked about. They'll be combined for this weekend. Chaos, Boom Train, and Carolina Reapers all will be attending. I think there's a clear, maybe not clear, I should have had my power rankings pulled up, but I think there's a top 2 in most people's minds. I think Boom Train and Chaos are probably the top 2. Chaos and DCQC, though, I think are very close as well. And Carolina Reapers, I think, can punch upward. I think they're right there with DCQC. And both those teams can be right there with Chaos. But we've seen Boom Train has bled quite a lot this year. They're not the Giants that people expected them to be. And first game of the day, Chaos is playing Boom Train. So maybe we see an upset at the very first time slot. That would be an interesting start to the day. Or not the first time slot. This is 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Central. So it'll be 8 a.m. Eastern. But the second time slot, Chaos is playing Boom Train. Maybe we see an upset very early on in this tournament. That would be interesting. Excuse me. But I see a clear top 4. I think Dragon Wolves will be competitive. I think Slice even could push. I'm just nervous because of the A-team, B-team situation here. And I think a lot of this talent has been pulled towards Dice. So I'm not 100% sure that Slice is going to be able to punch up against a Chaos, a Boom Train, a DCQC, and a Carolina Reapers. But they could easily surprise me. And then Chicago United, I'm not 100% sure that Chicago, even with the new A-team, B-team setup with Brew Cities, spoiler for my predictions there, I'm not sure that that's going to be enough for them. I think this is a 4-team race between Boom, Chaos, Reapers, and DCQC. And here are my predictions. I've got Boom going undefeated in groups. I think Chaos can pull the upset, but I'm going with Boom. I think Chaos will be 2nd, DCQC 3rd, Carolina Reapers at 4th, Slice in 5th, Chicago United 6th, and the Dragon Wolves in 7th. So I think my top 3 will be Boom Train, Chaos, and DCQC. The final would be a rematch of Boom and Chaos. And even as I'm saying this now, I think Boom and Chaos, if they had a rematch, I think it'd be a split, one way or the other. If Chaos won the first one, I think Boom wins the second one. That's not consistent with what I have on here. And if I had to pick one way or the other, I think it's more likely that Chaos beats Boom in the first one, and then Boom Train rebounds in the championship matchup to win the champion title. I think that's more likely. I think there could be a lot of upsets this weekend. I think Chaos and Boom can be interchangeable. Reapers and DCQC absolutely could. I think DCQC could finish second over Chaos. Like, they beat them at Winter Classic, DCQC. I just think Chaos has a high upside and maybe a bit of a lower downside, but I think Chaos can absolutely be that 6-0 team. Slice has got potential to beat a DCQC and a Reapers. Chicago United, I don't know what we're going to get with them, with the new A Team, B Team. Maybe they shock the world and make a run for a bid. Who knows? But I'm going with Boom, Chaos, and DCQC. I'll say Chaos does go 6-0. I'll say they pull the upset, because I think there will be some upsets somewhere. It's bound to happen. We'll see. This is what I'm going with. I've got Boom Train as the champion in that matchup, and I've got Boom, Chaos, and DCQC getting the bids this weekend. So lots of quad ball happening on Saturday, but there's going to be a meet on Sunday as well, on February the 22nd. This is the spring schedule for MQC. They have a D1 and a D2 split for either the teams that are pushing for college D1 or that MQC designates as their own D1. So Harvard, Emerson, Brandeis, Brown, RPI, and Boston, which probably are the top 6 teams. Well, this is actually a meet. I'm sorry. The top 5 teams will make D1, and then the D2 Bowl Series will be Vermont, Emerson, and Middlebury. But Harvard, Boston, RPI, Brandeis have definitely been some of the top teams in MQC. But the D1 games, this is kind of a wild card. 4th versus 5th teams will play on March 15th. And then the D1 championship for MQC is whoever the top 3 teams are, they'll have an MQC champion. This will be at the end of March. And then the D2 Bowl Series, which I guess these 3 teams either have already opted into D2 or are probably teams that are D2 as recognized by MQC. So this should be on Sunday. That's what it said on Quad Ball 1. I know some people are asking if it's going to be on Saturday. As far as I'm seeing, it will be on Sunday at 12:30. That's what the Instagram said, and that's what Quad Ball 1 said. So that's what I'm going with. But fun to see MQC playing more games. Always fun. And I like the little mini tournament setup for D1 and D2 to crown an MQC champion. I think that's really cool. I expect Boston to be the best team there. Harvard can absolutely punch upward. I think they have the ability to. But Brandeis even, we've seen, can cause some upsets. No Rutgers here, I'm noticing, at this tournament. I assume Rutgers would be either the D1 championships or the D1 wildcard, depending on where they finish in the standings. But at least this weekend, I'm expecting Boston to be number 1, Harvard 2, Brandeis 3, although Brandeis could pull another upset. We'll say RPI 4, Brown 5, and Emerson 6. Here's that schedule again for this weekend. Here's the full schedule. And again, this also says Sunday. So I think it's going to be on Sunday, starting at 12:30. A whole bunch of games going on. Should be a lot of fun. And then one other thing, MQC, Rust Belt, and App 5. In early April, as kind of a tune-up right before Nationals, there will be a combined tournament in Pittsburgh where a whole bunch of teams are going to be going. And we'll have kind of an interleague showdown, see who's the best going into Nationals. It's going to be really fun, I think, to see like Rutgers and Boston and Harvard from MQC take on a Creighton or a Mizzou or an Illini from the Rust Belt, take on Virginia from App 5. That's 7 top 10 or borderline top 10 teams right there. This will be a lot of fun if all those teams go. That's not a guarantee, obviously. But if all those teams attend, this will be an electric tournament. And even some of those either tier 2 or maybe low D1 punch upward teams, like a James Madison, I think can has a lot of upset potential. Say a Michigan State or a Michigan from Rust Belt, a Brandeis or an RPI. Those will all be fun games, assuming all those teams go. But this has the chance to be one of the biggest tournaments of the year, shy of nationals and regionals. Definitely the biggest non USQ sanctioned event. I think this has a chance to be that. I'll put my predictions up on the screen as the last thing, because I'm sure this will be the thing that most people have comments or problems with from this video, but we'll see. I'm expecting Boom to be the best team out, but hey, I think Chaos can pull an upset or two. And DCQC and Carolina are probably, that game might determine the third spot. But let me know what you think is going to happen in New York and about all these things in the comments below. And this is Jackson signing off.